Hi dancers, and welcome to danceforplace.com, where competitors come first. I am so excited that you're joining me today because I have an amazing guest in this interview. And he has a whole list of accolades, but let me just give you a few of the highlights. He's a former world and European amateur Latin champion, professional world champion in Showdance. Of course, he's a finalist in every major comp in the world. Now, he's recently retired in 2001, and he is currently coaching in New York City. And of course, our guest is the amazing Allan Tornsberg. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Now, I have to say that I have a few butterflies in my stomach when I was preparing for this interview because you are probably my favorite male Latin dancer.
Oh, thank you.
And not only that, I took a little informal poll, and it seems that you're on the top of most people's list, especially the guys.
Oh, really?
Yes, absolutely. And of course, you have a very inspirational career. But what I want to talk to you about is actually what I learned in my little informal poll. And that's, you're such an icon for male dancers. I mean, you're just so powerful, you're so masculine on the floor, you take care of your girls so well. And I want to get your opinion on what you think about the current group of male dancers at this point.
Well, I have to say, it takes me by surprise that you say I'm popular by the male dancers, because I think in the past it was more by the women.
Well, I'm one of those.
But I take pride in that, especially when you say that it's because that they look up to the way I took care of the women, because my message and wish for the future is that the guys will take more care of their ladies. And I think we've gone through a time where it has been the men who's been the peacocks and being out there with all the glitter and glam, and the ladies have seemed to be left alone a little bit. So I think it's time now. Believe everything comes in full circle, and I think it's time now that we come back to that the men takes care of the women and are proudly presenting the women. I always believe, and in Latin dancing it should be the woman is the flower and the man is the brain.
The brain.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that. I like that very much. So you would like to see that more from the male dancers right now? Less of taking care of themselves and more presentation? Is that really
Well, I think they
difference?
definitely need to take care of themselves, but they need to take the time to understand the woman's body and the woman's mechanics and the woman's brain more necessarily. I think it's very important that he understand all the women's steps, the ladies' steps, so that he can lead it. But of course, lead is not teaching or only guiding, it's actually dancing your own body in such a way that it encourages the lady. So I think that's quite important to understand.
Beautiful. I love how you said you encourage the lady by doing that. That's
Yes,
great.
yeah.
So you have just an inspirational career, and I'm wondering, when you look back on this long career, what is the legacy that you've left in Latin dancing?
Well, that's hard to say, because I think what you think yourself that you're bringing out there is not always what people actually see. But over the years, what I've heard that people see is that I've always been very truthful or true to my own dancing. It's been sincere and honest. It's been authentic, people have said, with a lot of characterization of each dance. As you said, man, woman. Yeah, and I think maybe also quite entertaining. I used to be quite good at getting the crowd going.
Absolutely, for sure. Well, speaking of getting the crowd going, you recently just had the honor of dancing with Vivica in the World Superstars in Japan, and this is one of the highlights of the year. This show is just amazing, and to be doing it again, I know you've done it in the past with other partners, including Vivica also. We can't wait to see this one, but coming out of retirement, how did you train to get ready for this show?
Oh my God, I would almost say, if I knew how hard it was going to be, I don't think I would have signed up for it. It was really, really tough. And I guess because both Vibeke and I have such high expectations and demands for ourselves of what we expect. And one thing is that your body is 47, but your mind is 25.
Right.
And those two things doesn't always match, you know. And it was quite hard, both physically and mentally. But I also have to say, once I was like lying in that third highlight on the floor in Paso Doble, I was looking at Vibeke thinking, it was worth it.
Oh my gosh,
it was fabulous to be out there.
That is fantastic. So, how did you train differently? Like, what did you have to do differently to get ready at this point?
We practiced probably twice as much as we've ever done.
Wow.
And I think that's definitely necessary. Obviously, because we were totally out of shape, haven't danced for so long. And as I said, we expected even our bodies to be able to do more than when we left, which is of course not possible. So we practiced, we basically practiced for 6 months every day. And every morning, got up, I went to the gym, you know, changed my eating habits drastically. Yeah, but
changed.
It was actually really fun to go for it 100% for those 6 months. I'm not sure if I would want to continue it. I'm quite happy that we're retired and it was only for those 6 months, but it was a lot of fun.
Oh, I cannot wait to see it. That's going to be an amazing show. I'm really looking forward to it. So, well, during your competitive career, you're obviously focused on your own dancing when you're competing, and then as a coach, you're focusing on your couples. And at this point in your life, when you came back to do the show, what did you want to show different? Like, what can you do different now or better that you didn't do when you're competing?
Actually, we were very much trying to stay true to Allan and Vibeke. As you know, I've danced with Carmen after I split with Vibeke in '96. I danced 3 years with Carmen and 3 years with Serena before I retired. And then coming back to Vibeke again, we very much wanted to show what Allan and Vibeke was about then. Hopefully in an up-to-date, upgraded version, but we very much tried to focus on remembering what type of steps we used to do and encourage or include them in the choreography. We also had to take obviously some steps that Vibeke had with Paul when she danced with Paul Killick, and I had some steps with Serena that was our signature steps. So we tried really to bring back Allan and Vibeke as much as we could, because I think when we have been asked to do a legend show, it's not really to prove that we can go out and dance like Ricardo and Julia or the dancers today. It's probably because they want to see a little bit of what it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
The challenge is then people remember it better than what it was. So yes. It's not only good enough to go out and dance the exact same cha-cha or the exact same paso, it has to be better. But the balance of an upgraded version of what used to be.
Very good. That sounds amazing. I can't wait to see it again. Okay, now, over the years, you mentioned you have a few other partners, specifically Serena and, of course, Carmen. But you're always coming back to Vibeke. What is the special charm in that partnership? Why do you guys keep coming back together?
I say Vibeke is my soulmate, and I know I'm her soulmate, and it's just something unexplainable between us. The best word for me is soulmate. It's just such a closeness of friendship, passion, total understanding of each other, an enormous love. Yeah, and I just think perhaps because she was my first love and she was my first partner, and we went through 10 years together. We won the World Championships together, so I think all that put into one basket is what makes it. And it's just proven that it is a very strong friendship because, as you said, we've been apart and we find back together again, and yeah, it's better than ever. I would say stronger than ever.
And so you're even teaching in the same studio now?
That's right. We both teach in New York City. And hopefully one day we're hoping to open our own studio in New York City. So
now you have come back to full circle here, dancing one more time, back dancing and working with Vibeke. But when you look back on your entire career, is there anything you would have done differently along the way?
I don't believe in regrets. I have done a lot of stupid things. I've done a lot of bad things for myself, which could have been so much better having done other choices. But I did choose what I chose, and I believe even the bad choices makes you grow to the person that I am today. And I feel that I'm in a very good place today, and I wouldn't change anything whatsoever that I've done.
Good, yeah. That's good not to think back with regrets and just learn from what you've done.
Absolutely.
So at this point, what is the future for you? You've gone back, you've done this amazing show, working again. What are you going to do now?
It's funny you asked that question, because it's almost like it's been so intense, this training for the show, and it's been like this goalpost, and now it's done, and it's like, now what? I think the focus is definitely going to be, we want to create some kind of institution, Vibeke and I, for the dancers. We have a great passion for education. We wish to pass on our knowledge, our passion and our inspiration to the young kids today. So that also we can enjoy the whole environment or the whole dance world that we are in. We just like to be part of this wonderful dance world.
Great. Well, good luck with all those endeavors, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Really happy to have you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again the next time on dancesportplace.com, where competitors come first.